There is another important structure formed here. It is the septum transversum. What is septum transversum? It is part of the intra-embryonic mesoderm. Now, this septum transversum, it is the condensed horseshoe shape. This structure. This horseshoe shaped structures of the mesodermal bulb. Where it is situated? It is cranial to the pericardial sac. Now, this is the pericardial sac. Cranial to pericardial sac, this region, horseshoe shaped condensed mesodermal tissue is known as the septum transversum. Now, to understand this, magnifying part of the section here diagram. It is the procaudal plate. This region, buccopharyngeal membrane. We know at the buccopharyngeal membrane, it is the ectoderm and the endoderm. There is no mesoderm. The two layers adherent with each other. Then we go, this is the pericardial sac. And this pericardial sac divides the intra-embryonic mesoderm into the two parts. The upper parts towards the ectoderm, this is the somatopleuric, and this is the splanchnopluric layer. And this is the cavity. That is the part of the intra-embryonic sac. We call it the pericardial sac. Now cranial to this pericardial sac, this part, it is the septum transversum. Means the region where the somatopleuric layer continuous with the splanchnopluric layer. Both layers are continuous with each other. This part is known as the septum transversum. It is situated cranial to the pericardial sac. Now, this septum transversum, what is the importance? In the future, this septum transversum forms the diaphragm. The diaphragm, thoracic diaphragm, is developed from this septum transversum, and it also participates in the formation of the liver. There are two structures in which this septum transversum participate in their formation. Now, this is the somatopleuric layer and this is the splanchnopluric layer. And this region, splanchnopluric layer, in future, here is formed the heart tube. Heart tube is formed in the splanchnopluric layer that is directed ventrally. It is the dorsal and it is the ventral. So it is the cardiogenic area. Cardiogenic area means it is the region where the first heart tube will be formed, and this tube then projected into this cavity, and this cavity forms the pericardial cavity. So it is the splanchnopluric layer, not the somatopleuric layer. The heart tube will be formed, and the cranial part where the somatopleuric and the splanchnopluric continuous with each other, it is the septum transversum, and this forms the diaphragm and part of the liver. Now about the allantoic diverticulum, or it is the allantoids. This is the allantoids. This diagram, remember, amniotic cavity, yolk sac. Now this is the extra embryonic cilium. This is the extra embryonic cilium. This is the splanchnopleuric layer. This is the extra embryonic mesoderm through which intra-embryonic mesoderm continuous, and this is the somatopleuric layer of the extra embryonic mesoderm. This is the connecting stalk where cavity is not present, and future it is the umbilical cord region. Now this, it is the ectoderm, blue layer, while this is the endoderm. This endoderm, the cells derived cover this yolk sac, means this yolk sac is lined by the endodermal lining, and this amniotic cavity is lined by the ectodermal lining. Now during third week, there is a diverticulum. What is diverticulum? It is an out pouch, extra extension of this yolk sac cavity. This diverticulum is known as the allantoic diverticulum, or it is known as the allantois. Extend from the, this is the cranial end, and this is the caudal end. Connecting stalk is present towards the caudal end. So a diverticulum is projected into the connecting stalk, and this diverticulum takes origin from the yolk sac. So we can say it is the endodermal diverticulum. It is endodermal, and it is projected into the connecting stalk or extra embryonic mesoderm. This diverticulum is known as the allantoic diverticulum. It is the allantoic diverticulum that is formed during the third week. Endodermal diverticulum. Now with further development, we will discuss there are four folding occurs in the embryo in the fourth week. Four folding occurs. The cranial end folded, it is the head folding. This is the caudal end folded, it is the tail folding, and both lateral side folded, that is the lateral folding. Now after the formation of the tail folding, this structure here this is the embryo surrounded by, this is the amniotic cavity completely enlarged, and due to the formation of head folding, fold and tail fold, a part of this yolk sac, see this, it is enclosed by this amniotic cavity, and this part, it is the endodermal part, it is the yolk sac part enclosed by this amniotic cavity, and it is the primitive gut. It is the primitive gut. Major part of the GIT will form from this gut. Initially, there is a wide communication. With further development, this communication will decrease, is small, and this is the umbilical cord region. It is the umbilical cord. Now, cranial to this opening, it is the foregut will form in the future. Opposite to this opening, it is the midgut, and behind this opening, it is the hindgut. So, now we see this allantoic diverticulum is absorbed into the hindgut. Now it is directed ventrally. It is the ventral, anterior. This is the dorsum. The allantoic diverticulum that is present towards the caudal end of the embryo. After folding, it is directed ventrally into the umbilical cord, absorbed into the hindgut. Now, what is the importance of this allantoic diverticulum? This allantoic diverticulum we will discuss in the development of the GIT, in the development of the urinary bladder. Now the part of the hindgut caudal to this allantoic diverticulum we will discuss in the next class. This part, the part of the hindgut that is caudal distal to this allantoic diverticulum now becomes the cloaca. It is the cloaca. And this cloaca further divided into the primitive urogenital sinus and the primitive rectum. And the primitive urogenital sinus cranial part form the urinary bladder. How? We will discuss in the system genitourinary. Means in the future these allantoids absorb and participate in the formation of the urinary bladder and get fibers to form the urachus. It is the urachus. It becomes the urachus. And after birth, it is changed into a fibrous ligament, that is the median umbilical ligament. This median umbilical ligament that connects the umbilical cord with the apex of the urinary bladder. It is the median umbilical ligament, and it represents this allantoic diverticulum that becomes the urachus. So it is the allantois, which is a endodermal diverticulum. Thank you very much.